Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Wherever you're listening around the world, a very warm welcome from London in the UK. Here is today's news in electric cars and sustainable transport. My name is Martin Lee, and this is your EV News Daily for Wednesday, 31st of January, 2018. Well, the only story that we could start with today is the brand new Formula E car, the ABB FIA Formula E Series. To give it its full title, will start its fifth season with a brand new Formula E car, which was unveiled today, and it does look like a Batmobile. It looks like it comes from Gotham. These are CGI renderings at the moment. The Geneva Motor Show in early March will feature the first fully built real-life car, but these CGI renderings are pretty good, if you ask me. You can go and watch the video online right now. Make sure the sound is turned up because it's a great 2-minute teaser, and it really does show how far the series has come in the last 3 or 4 years. Now, the car's going to be built by a French manufacturer called Spark. Another thing that sticks out is the halo design. Well, that's coming to Formula One as well, which Formula One fans have been critical of about how it will spoil the aesthetics of the car. But in some ways, it moulds into the car, makes it look even better. It's going to have LED strip lighting around it as well, but we haven't heard from the organisers how those lights are going to be used. Maybe according to how much battery they've got left in the car, or maybe who's getting the fan boost. We'll wait and see. Now, the organisers won't tell us the exact specs of this new car, but we do know that the cars are going to be faster for the fifth season. They're going to have more power, and they will last longer. And it will mean that changing the cars halfway through the race, where the drivers have to pit and jump out of one car and jump into another, well, that will be consigned to history. The new battery is going to be built by McLaren, also of Formula One fame, and a full power output of 250 kilowatts, which is 50 more than the current car. When you think about how far Formula E has come, the car is going to be twice as powerful and go for twice the distance in just 4 years of being around. And Formula One is often singled out as being the pinnacle of technological development in motor racing, but this is really impressive, and it just does go to show how quickly things are changing in electric cars and electric car racing as well. Audi, Jaguar and BMW all involved, soon to be joined by Mercedes-Benz and Porsche as well. The fifth season of Formula E is something that we will be looking forward to. Now, if you'd like to give Audi some of your money, you can do. The e-tron Sportback is going to be their first full electric car in 2019, of course owned by Volkswagen Group as well, so Audi has a little bit of damage repair to do there. The image of Dieselgate, they took a bit of a knock with that, and then news in the last week about, although not VW doing this directly, but emissions of diesels being tested on both monkeys and humans. Some terrible stories in the last week. Again, doing more damage to brand image. Audi need to fix this with their e-tron Sportback and proving they can make fantastic, clean electric cars right up there with the Model X and the I-Pace in a very expensive luxury SUV market. Already in Norway, you've been able to reserve this car. 5,000 people have actually. Now in Switzerland, Austria and Belgium, you can put down your deposit for the new Audi e-tron Sportback, which says it's going to have a range of 310 miles and do 0 to 60 in sub 5 seconds. It's going to be a gorgeous car, but not necessarily a cheap one. Certainly more expensive than the new Nissan Leaf. And in Nissan news today, 1,000 vehicle-to-grid charging installations are going to be built in the UK by a consortium led by Nissan. This is using the Chademo charger, which of course the Japanese manufacturers, which Nissan go with, means that the bi-directional nature of that means you can put power into your car and also take out of your car battery as well. So these chargers, these V2G chargers, are going to be controlled by a computer program that will look at how much energy your car has and what the grid needs. Nissan's EV owners can connect to the grid, charge when it's low demand, like overnight, when also the power can be a lot more green, by the way, because coal-powered stations are turned off and nuclear is up there and wind can be up there as well. If we can have time-of-day tariffs, which mean that you can charge your car overnight and then feed back into the grid when it's expensive, it'll help make you some money. You can sell that energy back, and also it'll flatten out the peak demand. It could be that you need incentivizing to do that. How much money will you get paid for the energy stored in your car? And will there need to be some sort of policy intervention to ensure that you do sell some of it back and that you don't hog it if this is the way that we're going to go? Maybe a bit like your hard drive. Windows on your hard drive will take a little bit for itself and it won't let you use all of it. Or maybe your satellite TV box. There's a bit of the hard drive which you can't get to because it's kind of reserved. Maybe that's what we do with our car batteries. There's a bit of it that is always there to be sold back to the grid, or you take it from the grid when you want to. So let's stay with the topic of batteries and the Chinese BYD, a new energy vehicle maker, as they call them in China, the new energy vehicles. Their new battery plant is confirmed now. It'll be opening in June. It's cost $633 million US, and it's going to be able to produce 10 gigawatt hours of lithium batteries per year. Oil giant BP is diversifying and ensuring they have a future when there'll be no more petrol and gas to sell on the forecourts by investing in FreeWire, a US company that makes mobile fast chargers for EVs. They say that their technology can very quickly provide charging facilities either at forecourts or even maybe at certain events. And their chargers come on wheels. They're about the size of a small trailer that you'd tow behind your car, and you can charge up your EV from these. An interesting investment from BP. And finally, a new survey today says 70% of drivers want their independent local garages to service their electric cars. This has been done by an online provider called Servicing Stop, who, surprise, surprise, represent 1,500 small garages. It's convenient, the results of this survey say that, but local independent garages are a huge industry and they need to retrain and have some pretty serious qualifications for dealing with the high voltage systems in electric cars if they're going to service them rather than main dealers. People do like to go to their local independent garage, but how often will they go? I mean, there was a fully charged video released this week with Robert Llewellyn, who's talking about his Nissan Leaf, and he hasn't had it serviced, or it went back and they sort of polished it a little bit and said it's all good. And the Chevrolet Bolt has a 150,000 mile compulsory service for some fluids. I mean, this isn't going to keep local independent garages going every 150,000 miles. EVs generally don't need servicing. Maybe some brake pads if you're not too good with the regen. Well, thank you so much for listening today. I hope you've enjoyed it. We would love to spread the word about electric cars, so please do share our podcast with at least one person who you think might be interested. Well, just a reminder, you can listen to all of the previous podcasts on iTunes right now. And why not connect with us on Twitter @EV News Daily. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.